On the bench.
Your thoughts on winning the title here with your dad as the coach? I mean, you've been up here. I'm guessing. How many times have you been up here before with the championships?
Yeah, I've been here so many times just growing up, and I'm finally able to get the chance, and I'm happy to do it with these guys and my dad as a coach for sure.
Give me some thoughts on all these different hitters you have to work with. I mean,
I have so many options. From the outside all the way to the right side, even on the bench, everyone can contribute, and it's nice to be confident in who I'm setting.
Michael, give me some thoughts on your center here.
Silky mitts, that's all I have to say. silky mitts. That's all I got to say.
In the first set, you guys, to a certain extent, couldn't get the offense running the way you wanted to. Give me some thoughts on that. What would a little bit on the first set?
I think we just had a little bit of nervousness. We got it out after the first set. And then once Sweet Caroline came on, it was over.
Timmy, the blocking today in the second set I thought was the key. You just did a little something different in the second set to get the blocking going?
Well, the big thing is once the first set was over, we just kind of knew let it ride. With everything on the line, you kind of have that nervousness. So once we got through that in the first set, it was all kind of, just activity, energy. It was really important to just kind of have that communication on the team through spirit, stuff like that.
Anything said after the first game in the huddle, Coach?
It was mainly about just keeping an even temper and realizing that it was a long match. These guys have been through so many different situations, and we were so fortunate to play a really tough schedule this year. This is no knock on any of our opponents, but I think Seneca Valley might have been one of the toughest, if not the toughest opponent that we had. We got to play them 4 times. So dropping a set, while it wasn't the way we wanted to come out, these guys are cool. And they have a 0-0 mentality, and they weren't fazed by being down a game. They trust one another. I think that was a big thing.
But the back row play was quite well. Peter, could you give me some thoughts on
Well, beginning of the game, coach told us they're going to come out with some heat, be down and ready early, be able to make a move left or right. I think that's something us in the back row we've kind of struggled with all years, being low, set, and ready. And today, everything just kind of clicked. We all were able to make a move, make a dig, set up our offense for Caleb and the rest of the hitters.
I'll jump in there. Our defensive specialists are so good, and we have so many of them who can play. Peter gets to wear the different shirt. Tress is such a good defensive player, and he was really instrumental today. Madu has been solid all along, and then there were some guys who didn't touch the court today who were really, really good. And we just really take great pride in our defense, and it was great to see that exhibited today. Luke Konstantakis is an outside hitter who has been given the role of defensive specialist. And he's one of the steadiest guys, one of our most unsung guys. And you're right on with that with our defensive play. Those guys just have a camaraderie, they have a brotherhood together, and they make it possible for everyone else.
and San Filippo? What are your thoughts on the champion?
It's great, to be honest. Every single practice, all the guys are giving their heart out, practicing it out, really push each other, and that just benefits me and the rest of the team to have a solid 6-on-6, and most teams don't really have the chance of that.
So thoughts on you guys being in a couple years ago? You guys, a lot of you were here watching. Some thoughts on maybe what you might have picked up in the previous match a couple years ago that might have helped you. Some sitting and watching on the sidelines.
You're really chime in here. Yeah.
I mean, I think us coming up behind some of the greatest volleyball players that have ever gone through NA's program, like Canyon, AJ, Trevor, Drew, just to name a couple. I mean, we physically got to see what it took to win a championship, and although not many of us or any of us at all were really that instrumental in winning those championships, it kind of showed us what we needed to do, and especially after losing last year, we were hungrier than ever, and we wanted to come out and do what those guys had done before us, and it feels so awesome to be able to do that finally.
Had to be awful fun in those second and third sets when you really got it together. You guys seem to really be having a ball out there.
Yeah, I mean, being loose, like, that's the key. I think that's part of the reason why the first set went the way it did, is we were tight, maybe a little nervous, but those last 3 sets, that's who we are. When we play loose like that, that's when we're at our best.
It didn't seem to matter who was set. You were getting the hits, you were getting the blocks. And, team approach, I mean, some teams are lucky to have 3 hitters. You guys have, what, 10?
We did, yeah. I was talking to Mike Krause, who was broadcasting the match, and I said, I have no idea who will lead our team in kills today. And that's a beautiful thing, the balance of our offense. But even more beautiful is these guys really don't care who leads in kills. It doesn't matter to them. We have no guy who needs a number of sets or a number of kills to inflate his ego. We care that we win 3 games when we play a best-of-5 match, and how that happens, it makes no difference. So while we're balanced, we are also selfless, and no one cares who gets the credit. It's a collective effort, and we're just so glad that North Allegheny gets the credit on winning a state championship.
What's it mean to have 3 in a row and then being in the finals 4 years in a row?
It speaks to our depth, and it speaks to our consistency. It means a lot because we're not a program that's all about a superstar or maybe a couple superstars that ride a wave. We're about a team approach, and when these guys graduate, some of these guys who didn't get to touch the court today are going to fill in, and people are going to say, where did this kid come from? My gosh, Jack Birch is a heck of a middle. Like where did he come from? And we refill and I guess reload, and that speaks to depth, it speaks to selflessness, it speaks to being able to delay your reward until you get the chance to be on the court. Some of these guys would have been playing since freshmen had they been in another program, but they had to wait and wait and wait and wait some more with the pandemic, and they were ready to shine when they ultimately did get their chance.
How much did you guys get to work out prior to the season? You did a lot of stuff with the club team.
Right, it was very abbreviated, and a lot of credit, and it's never sought out. It's always behind the scene. Our administration at North Allegheny, our athletic administration, our athletic director, Bob Bizzuto, was so critical in making sure that we were safe and making sure that we were compliant, but also understanding how important it was for kids to play sport. Sports don't matter at all, but they matter so much. And I know that's paradoxical, but outside of our world, there aren't a whole lot of people who cared who won this championship. But to a guy, this matters so much, and this is a lifetime memory. And that's a circular way of answering this question. But Mr. Bizzuto was always green lighting with safety. We didn't do anything reckless in terms of our training. We abided by every protocol. That meant mask wearing the entire season. That meant temperature checks. That meant all sorts of things. And as soon as we could get the opportunity, these guys loved to play so much, they were filling the gym. And every opportunity we could. In terms of formal opportunities, not many. It was the sparsest off season that we had in terms of competition. But everyone in this room provides as good of competition as we can get anywhere. So that truly was an asset for this team. Some of the guys who didn't touch the court today created the greatest simulated teams of Cumberland Valley, of Seneca Valley, of Northeastern, of Central Dauphin. So I don't think you need uniforms or a scoreboard to be competing. And while we didn't compete in a formal sense, boy, these guys compete every single day, and that's why we're here, and that's why that's gold.
Are you